there's definitely going to be a list where like Saruman just goes, burn every village.
Is that your Christopher Lee?
I'll do it. I'll do it again so we have a double intro clip. Burn every village.
Oh.
Sam, you're literally Frodo right now.
He's the hero. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 62 of the Gollum's Gamers podcast, where today we are back with another GBHL 100 preview episode, and we're going to be covering the Grand Prix, otherwise known as the GP, which is a 600-point event happening this weekend with 120 players in attendance. So it's a very large event, and tonight we'll be taking a look at the lists from the members of the team who will be going and ranking them in a tier list at the end as usual. So for the Spotify listener, tonight I'm joined by Vince and Adam. As always, you can find us on Instagram and Spotify by following the links in the description down below. And please do remember to subscribe to us here on YouTube. Roughly 60% of everyone who watches isn't actually subscribed. So if you do enjoy all of the MESBG content that we make, then please do remember to subscribe. So I guess we could kick things off by talking a little bit about the event itself. We don't have any stats tonight or anything, but we've all been previously. Only Vince is actually going this year, as Adam's now living in Spain. I'm going on holiday this weekend, so I can't go, unfortunately. But Vince, could you start off by maybe explaining how the format works? It's a little bit of a unique thing. Does any other event have the kind of format with the knockout that the GP does? I don't think so.
Not that I know of. I think this is quite unique.
Yeah, it's cool though.
In terms of hundreds, at least. I don't know if
there was Mark Kempster's 100 in Bicester had this, didn't it? Because
years ago, a couple of years ago.
Maybe. So
I made it into the top 8, and I was stoked.
So there might be like 80s and 90s with a similar-ish format, but I don't think other hundreds are like this one.
Yeah.
So the format is basically, it's going to be 4 games day one, just a standard tournament, Swiss, and then random scenarios.
Yeah.
End of day one, the top 16 qualify for what's known as the top pod. I don't know exactly how many pods there are, but I'd imagine quite a lot. There's 100 and...
Yeah, like 120 players. So then that may be 16 through to 40 or something, or 32 like pod 2, and then it keeps going down.
Yeah. And then day 2, it becomes a knockout. So pod 1, they all play each other. All the players who qualify pod 1 play each other, and it's basically like a knockout. You basically have to win all 4 games to win the event.
Yeah. So it's like the number 1 seed from the top pod will play the 16th seed. Two
and so on.
Play 15 and so on. And then the top 8 after that round, 1 will play 8. And so, So it's like it is in sports, I guess.
That's interesting, because that means day 1, if you just come in the top 16, obviously it's better to come higher. But if you just go 3 and 1, you'll probably be around like 12th or something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 120 players, only, what's the maths on it? 3, 4 can go 4-0.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. So, like, you've really got to try and get into that top pod. Like, if you come 17th after day 1, like, you're kind of mad because now you don't have a chance. So it's like what Will was kind of doing. So it's like you don't have a chance to, after day 1, potentially play to win the event or to come super high in the event if you don't come in the top pod. But you're playing for like a prize pool specifically within your own pod. So you're still playing for something. Even if you can't try and like win.
So basically, if you care about prizes, then this is a good event to go to.
Yeah.
But if you just care about, coming in the top 10 or winning the event, then everything's riding on day 1.
Yeah.
If you flop day 1, your hopes and dreams are basically crushed.
That's it. Yeah. So
you won your pod last year, didn't you, Vinny?
Oh yeah, I did win my pod. Well, we're not going to disclose which pod it was, but I did win my pod. Yeah.
Got an Isengard battle host.
Won a prize.
You Yes, go.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So and we'll see that in like the lists, like because you've really got to take something that will let you.
I forgot about that, didn't you?
Why? What?
Oh no!
What pod was it?
No one forgets.
I don't remember you getting a prize.
Second pod, wasn't it?
Second
it
pod.
was second.
Second
from bottom.
Small caveat.
Yeah. No, that's the problem. When day one goes bad, it's just like, it's your sad panda for day two.
Yeah.
There's no chance of recovery.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, if you win the top pod and you win the event, you get Smaug, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So the prize support is really great. So
yeah,
a lot of people are excited about this event, and I think it's quite a fun, different format.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's a shame I can't go. I mean, I was planning to stream the event because, for kind of the storyline with the top 16, and then you'll have the quarterfinals, the semis, right, sort of thing. Would have been really cool to have had on stream, but
yeah.
Maybe next year. So I think I'll do it. Kind of that is the format for the event and everything. And then obviously veto as well. It's just I found it a little bit sort of interesting. Obviously, with so few scenarios, you're going to be vetoing from the same ones. And I think I saw as well.
Yeah.
Doesn't his veto work a little bit differently when you write it down? You both write it down. Yeah. How does that work exactly?
So basically, the vetoing is only going to happen day two, if I'm correct.
Sure.
And you both secretly choose to veto one. If you both pick the same one, that's the one that's played.
Yeah.
And then if you pick different ones, the one that neither of you picked is played. So there's a bit of a kind of mind game.
That's very interesting. Have either of you seen a veto done like that before?
No.
Is that a new?
No, but it sounds quite interesting. Yeah,
it's really fun.
It's different.
Yeah,
because you're going to get double bluffing.
Yeah, it's a new way rather than just roll a dice and
I don't really know what the tactic is. Do you pick the one that you don't want, or do you pick the one that you really want?
Yeah, like you try and bluff them out, and then you just end up playing your worst scenario.
Yeah, you might end up overthinking it and be like, "Oh,
I've insta lost." Oh, that'd be so hard.
So
sure. Okay, right. So I think we will leave it there, and we will move into looking at some of the lists. Okay, so kicking things off here, we have a Arnor list. So is it called Army Arnor now, or is it called the Army of Arnor? I thought it was called, or is it just Arnor?
Don't know.
Is it just Arnor? Sure, maybe. Okay, 600 points. Anyway, did I mention it was a 600-point event? I'm not sure if I did. It's a 600-point event. And this list has 44 models. It's led by Arvedui, and they are leading. So it's Arvedui, Malbeth, Captain. We have a crap ton of Warriors of Arnor, a crap ton of Rangers of Arnor, and a couple knights. Yeah, there's no hobbits. All the Rangers have spears. So it's 13 bows, 6 might with the heroes as well. 44 models, especially in the new edition with the sort of lower model counts. 44 is a really solid number to be at, obviously with the Malbeth saves as well. D6 front line. Super solid.
Yeah, it's a very high model count, 600 points.
Right, yeah, that is a lot. Fight 4.
Also, the back rank is defense 6, fight 4, fearless. That is a back rank that's going to stick around.
Oh, well, the back rank is also lots
back
of rank. Yeah, well,
you've got. You mean the front rank?
Yeah.
Sorry, the front rank. Yeah. The back rank's D4, yeah.
I guess will he have some of the... He'll have some of the back rank being Warriors of Arnor. Yeah, because he's got loads there.
Is he?
Well, he's got 11, he's got 19, he's got 25. Yeah. So he's got
So yeah, you're going to have to kill quite a few to get to the Rangers.
Yeah.
Which will be hard.
They'll be there in the back rank, but there'll still be loads of Warriors. There'll be loads of Warriors of Arnor. Is essentially the highlight there. Yeah.
So the question is this still kind of ultra competitive, or as ultra competitive as it was in last edition?
I mean, it hasn't got any worse.
Yeah, it's got better, hasn't it?
Yeah, it hasn't got any worse. So, I mean, we just haven't seen it do super well at a 100 yet, but I guess maybe obviously Farmers won 2 100s. I think maybe players are trying out new lists rather than just using Arnor.
We've also only had 4 100s, haven't we?
Yeah, and like they've all,
And they
people.
weren't at this point. So the 450 was a little bit low for Arnor. It was just Monster Mash.
Yeah,
Then there was there like an 800?
there's a 900.
900, yeah.
Green Hollow, City of Steel 700.
Yeah, so this is where Arnor's going to turn up, isn't it? Because you got full warbands. So what? Two full warbands and then one almost full warband, right? So that's pretty much as ideal as you can get it. He's maxed his bows. 13 bows is really good.
Yeah.
It's the same as it was last edition, except now you've got knights and you've got foresight points.
Foresight, which is
and your heroes. Aren't you saving your heroes on 4s?
Oh yes.
So yeah, it's the same as it was at the tail end of last edition.
End of last edition, yeah.
It's the same as it was, but better.
Yeah.
Because everything else has also got more expensive or worse, right?
Yeah.
Look at Warriors of Minas Tirith.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Minas Tirith,
I guess has got better. Yeah.
Warriors of Minas Tirith, they're the same, but they're 2 points more, but they have Shield Wall. Yes, they've got an extra courage, but they don't have Fearless. So a Warrior of Minas Tirith is essentially, it's got 2 soft points higher, 2 soft skills, you could say, and Shield Wall plus 1 courage.
They're 5-4 though. That was the bump that they've had.
Yeah, but so Warriors of Arnor.
Yeah, sure. But like part of the increase is obviously the 5-4. Like that's.
So what I'm saying is a Warrior of Arnor with Spear and Shield is 8 points, whereas a Warrior of Minas Tirith with the same equipment
sure with their is 2 points more. Sorry, yeah.
So is it worth paying 10 points? So 2 points more for Shield Wall and plus 1 courage compared to having Fearless?
No.
Yeah, I think Warriors of Arnor should be about a point more. It's still a shade too cheap, I think.
I think, a 9 would still be marginally cheap, but it'd be fine.
Like Black Numenorians. Like
they are the new Black Numenorians, yeah.
Was anything changed for the Arnor list in terms of points in the new edition? I'm sure.
I don't think so.
The Knights stayed the same. The Knights are 15. Were they 15-4?
I think they were 14, weren't they?
They 14. I think maybe they were. Because they were a point more than Serpent Riders. I think I remember Ash saying. Yeah. So it's kind of just got better for it's the same as it was really at the end of the old edition, but everything else has got a bit more expensive. Where Arnor's still high model count, high defense, moderate fight value. Like it ticks lots of boxes. It has Cav now.
It's just very efficient, very solid.
So, solid all rounder. I'm sure
this kind of list will do very well.
I'm sure we'll see at least a Arnor in the top pod. I'm sure, no doubt.
Yeah.
So, there's this player's taking it. Who's a pretty good player. There's another one as well taking it. Who's kind of top 10-ish. They're going to the Masters. So very good list indeed. So we will leave it there for Arnor to kick us off, and we will move on to the Rise of the Necromancer. A little bit of a curveball here for you, Adam. I'm keeping you on your feet here because this is actually being taken by the defending champion of the GP, none other than the current leader in the GBHL, the number 1 ranked spot, Jakob.
Mr. Crockmal.
Indeed, is taking Rise of the Necromancer for the Spotify listener. So it's Sauron the Necromancer leading 3 Hunter Orcs with 2-handed weapon and 2 more Hunter Orcs with Orc bow. Sorry, those are Warg Riders. Sorry, so Hunter Orcs.
This is genius.
And then 4 of the Nazguls. So he has the Witch King, Kamal, the Forsaken, and the Lingering Shadow. So 10 models with the changes to the Necromancer. The Necromancer kind of got better, didn't he, in the new edition?
He did.
Was he 250 points before, and now he's 200?
So, he's taken a 50 points decrease. He's got an extra attack. Yeah. He can walk through stuff, still only 6 inches, but he can still, that's so good being able to have spectral walk. And he also gets the bonuses that he had in the Rise of the Necromancer Legion last time. So, for example, he can cast twice, as long as it's not the same target or the same spell, and he gets a free dice to cast whenever he uses a dice.
It was the army bonus from last time, but if you wanted to go with the Rise of the Necromancer list, you couldn't take everything from Dol Guldur, how it was in last edition.
Exactly.
Now, in this list, you can run it like this, which is more of like a the old Rise of the Necromancer Legendary Legion with the Nazguls.
Yeah.
But you can also take the Necromancer in like a more normal sort of list, and you still get to cast twice a turn, which was a huge buff that the Legion gave you, but you couldn't do outside of like the Wraith running type list. But now there's some really cool like standard sort of lists. He's only 200 instead of 250 down. Like he's a lot more reasonable, which I really like. I do like it.
It's really good fun because what this list does is it's got 5 really solid units, like they're going to fight like the old Rise of the Necromancer.
Yeah.
Except it's also got 5 models that are running around the board, running off for recon, hiding so he can't be broken.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact they're Wild Riders just means you are never going to get them. They're just hiding, running around. They can stay behind buildings and then charge. This is genius. I respect it.
Are they 3 attacks on the charge as well?
Yeah. And it's taking double-handed weapons, so they're essentially strength 6, 3 dice to win the fight. If he gets to 6, it's a 6.
Jakob does like a 2-handed weapon, so
I like it.
I like it a lot.
Well. Does a Necromancer get any sort of dominance?
Dominant 3, 4
for being the leader.
I think he might be like 5 or something.
Is he?
Is he 5?
I think he might be. Just checking.
My book is propping up my phone at the moment, so I can't quite get to it.
Good, you're good. He is dominant 5. I was correct. Yeah, dominant 5.
Okay,
that's nice. Whole round. Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting list. My only concern with it would be just the model count, really.
Yeah.
Sure, you're not going to die, but are you going to have enough models to contest objectives and things?
Yeah, he did say, he was like, oh, phew, like, you guys won't have to review my list. But I'm sort of partially wondering whether, like, he thinks this is actually pretty decent and he could do well with it, or if he's just taking it for a laugh. I don't know.
I don't know if Jakob actually thinks this is, a top tier list. I think he's bringing it because he wants to try something different. Yeah.
But like, I wonder whether he thinks he could actually win the event with it or not. That's what I'm wondering.
If anyone can do it, it's Jakob.
So the number 1 ranked player in the GBHL at the moment. But yeah, we'll see how he does, I guess. I would love to try a Necromancer list. Who knows? Maybe in a bat rep soon in my new house once we move. Maybe versus some Moria goblins, Adam, potentially.
Maybe. And paint it up.
There we go. We can get a little bat rep soon, hopefully. Yeah, we'll see. But we'll leave it there for
it's blurry.
Very blurry.
Yeah. We'll leave it there for his Rise of the Necromancer list, and we shall move on to our lists now. So those were a couple lists of some players not in the team, but we're just going to look at a list now from players on the team. So Minas Morgul to kick things off from Mr. Ashley Walger. So it's 600 points, 40 models, a nice number to be on. So it's led by the Witch King on Fell Beast with a Morgul blade, and he essentially has a load of Morannons with shields. So he's got like 12 of those. A load of normal Mordor Orcs with spear, a few more Mordor Orcs kind of sprinkled in just with shield, and one with a banner and nothing else. A couple specters as well, sorry. So 40 models, 6 might, and he also has, just a generic Mordor Orc captain and a Taskmaster as well. So was Jakob using, I think this is pretty similar to the list that Jakob won the 100 with. Was that a 600 as well? I think Gondor in 60 seconds.
Yeah,
it's 50.
I think it was 600.
600. So it was I think Jakob had the Taskmaster for that as well. So it could be very similar. So what do we think on this one? Witch King or Fell Beast? You love a Fell Beast, Adam?
You know what? Actually, this is not a terrible counter to Arnor.
What's that?
Because Arnor Courage 2.
Yeah.
So these guys are wounding on 4s.
It's the dead.
And then you got Morannons at the front, fight 4 to equal.
Oh yeah, the man. Yeah, true.
You're shutting down the 5-up save.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got one of the best assassins in the game in the Fell Beast.
Fell Beast, baby. A nerfed Fell Beast, as we've recently learned, but
I mean, it's kind of how it should have always been.
Yeah.
It's like some people were really enjoying having what's it, an extra 2 attacks on the charge. It's the same as the people who played that random, that's sort of 10, 15-hour window of having Mirkwood Elves at strength 4 again. It's just,
after the FAQ.
Let's be honest, it should never have been like that. But it was rules as written, so there you go.
Some people could call that abusing the mechanics of the game, but we will not.
Yes, I think it's a really good list.
What's that?
I don't know about the Morannons are still. I've seen this. It's quite a popular list, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got to be probably one of the most popular new evil lists.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've seen around, and I've seen a lot of people running trolls with it. I don't know.
Really?
But that's a higher point, so that was 800.
Yeah. This feels pretty good. Like 40 models. You get the toy with the Witch King, with the Fell Beast, like nice big sort of threat. Lots of objective play and things that you can do with it. Being able to move so far, compel things, combat off. Like there's all sorts of stuff. What does the Taskmaster give again? 3 heroics on a 4-up.
Yeah, on a 4-up.
On a 4-up. Yeah.
So on a 4-up, yeah, it's really good because as long as you get 1, you've kind of made your points back because it's the same as a Model Orc Captain. 1 less defense, but only 1 might.
Yeah.
So as soon as you get 1 back, then you're feeling good about life.
Yeah.
What I will say though, the biggest buff I think the Witch King has got is I think of all the models in the game, I think the Witch King going to fight 6 is probably the most needed because if you're going to take this bad boy on a Fell Beast, he can now go into elves.
Yeah.
Whereas previously, elf battle lines would just completely stop him. Yeah. Now they have to have specialist troops like, the Fight 6 Palace Guard or whatever.
Yeah. And having Fight 5, like if you were a Fight 5 army, like it would stop him from doing even like, combat plays and things like that, and like compelling things out and doing stuff because you were worried about then losing the roll off and then you've spent your might on a combat or something and you can't even do that now.
Yeah.
That's just not a risk. So yeah, the Fight 6 was super big buff. Yeah, for sure.
Really, really good. I think the Witch King has actually been really well dealt with because previously his magic was obnoxious. And in combat, people just took him on a horse. They didn't really put him into combat that much apart from late game.
Yeah.
Now you're playing the Witch King how the Witch King should have always been played.
All they had to do was change the crown. We talked about it multiple times.
Change the crown and also the fight value and also give him dominant. He's got dominant 4 now, hasn't he?
Yeah, and you want to get him in there. Yeah, on the objective.
It's great.
What do you think about this one, Vince? If you were to come up against this, Minas Morgul, seems like the new kid on the block.
Yeah, it's a solid list, really. He gets the 40 models. I do like the Morannons. D6 is a very good place to be in this current environment, I think.
Yeah.
So he's got the frontline D6 to kind of tank the strength 3. And yeah, more Orc Spears in the back. It seems to be the standard way to build this. And Witch King and Fell Beast, I think, is a very good model now. Magic's still good. And you're always going to have, as we said, the Fight 6 monster being able to like just flash kill something or munch on troops or do all sorts of things. The thing with the Fell Beast was even in the last edition, you were just scared of it just because of the threat, how fast it is. Always going to kept you wondering like what it was going to do.
Having to screen off and stuff, and obviously now you've got a 5/6 Witch King you're having to protect from.
Yeah,
there's a little bit more.
And the specters as well. So you've got to worry about being pulled in, and then
I do wonder, do we like
combat
2 specters at 600?
It's also got a carriage buff.
Did you get away with 1?
Yeah,
2 models, I think.
I do like if you dropped a specter, you'd have one extra.
He's at 40. He's at 40 models. It's fine.
Yeah.
40 is good. Could you eke it up to 42? Maybe, but yeah, I guess having the extra.
No, I think you've got to take 1 Spectre minimum, I think.
Well, you could take 1. You could drop down to 1 Spectre, maybe shuffle some stuff, and you get to 42 models potentially. But yeah, hitting the 40 spot at 600 with 2 is nice. So
I think this is good.
Yeah, do we like the Morgul Blade for 10 points? Is it necessary?
I think he thinks he's going to play monsters, isn't he? So yeah, I do
True.
like it.
Yeah, it's good against monsters.
Balrog. Oh, you're dead.
Transfix, just go in, strike. Still works.
It's the same as last edition, right? Morgul Blade.
Yeah.
If anything, it's got better, hasn't it?
Well, because he's fight 6.
Yeah, exactly. Fight 6, but also you're going to face a lot more monsters in this edition.
There's maybe more multi-wound things you want to like take out.
Just get rid of
eagles.
Like a Gwai here, or
eagles. Yeah,
or a troll.
Yeah. So is this maybe the list we'll be seeing the Witch King fan club led by Ashley Walger? Those members taking.
I really hope Ash does well at this event. It's been a rocky start for him this season. No Witch King Sully to
6-inch banner. Oh.
to prop himself up against. So he's got to find his new weapon, find it fast.
Praying for the army book immediately.
Just wonder if everyone's going to copy him again this edition.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to copy a Minas Morgul list. I mean, there's not much going on. Okay, we will leave it there for Ash's Minas Morgul list, and we will move on to Ben Haslam's Lothlorien list. We were just talking about Lothlorien the other day. Celeborn specifically in our under the radar changes from the new editions. Be sure to check that out if you missed that one. But yes, it's 595 points with 34 models. It's led by Celeborn. He also has Haldir with Elf Bow and Elven Cloak and a Lothlorien captain. So it's just spam pajama elves by the looks of things here. So he's got a load with bow. So he's got 13 with bow. How many has he got with spear? He's got 4, 8. Is it just the 8 with spear? Yeah, 8 with spear, and then he's got a load more with throwing weapons. I think that's like 11 with throwing weapons. Yeah, 11 throwing weapons. So 34 models. Low defense, led by their low defense leader in Celeborn. It'll be interesting seeing Lothlorien not led by Galadriel. Can't say the last time I remember seeing that. And the generic Lothlorien captain as well. So what do we think on this one from Ben? Ben does love a little bit of an interesting list, doesn't he?
So this is the Luke Hilda style list.
Is it?
He's been rocking up with the last few tournaments.
Was he? I didn't know.
Yeah, so Luke took this list basically to the 450, but obviously without. I think it was without either Haldir or the captain. I don't know, but it was Celeborn and one other warband. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's really good. He was explaining to me about the little tricks it has.
Yeah.
I mean, we know about Celeborn, and yeah, the shooting is very powerful because of the Elven Cloaks. You tend to just outshoot pretty much everything.
Yeah.
There's terrain to hide behind. It's very annoying. It's just kind of like you just kite for days, and then engage when you want to. Really, it's quite an annoying list to face.
Do Noldorian exiles exist in the new edition of the game, or do they not?
I don't know. No, Gildor's not in it, is he?
Is he not? Oh yeah, he got Legacied.
He got Legacied, yeah. No, not Legacy. He's in the armies because he's in the book, isn't he?
Oh, is he?
No, Gildor's been.
No, I think he was axed. Yeah, he was Legacied. He was binned off.
What? But he's in the books.
No, he's binned.
Mate, I was literally reading the book the other day. Gildor is in the book.
Adam is broken right now. No Gildor.
Gildor lives in my mind anyway.
No Gildor in the new edition. Oh dear.
Yeah, he got axed along with Erestor. No more Erestor either.
No, justice for Erestor. I actually did a solo hammer game like a few weeks ago or something, and I had a Last Alliance list with a Rivendell captain, and I went to go and get my Rivendell captain, and I thought, oh, there's Erestor. He looks a lot like a Rivendell captain would. Erestor's no longer in the game, so I'm going to use my Erestor model. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how I'm using Gorolf as Wildman Chieftains now.
Love it.
Now a scout captain.
Yeah. These are beloved models, I love my Erestor.
That's great, Vinny.
Yeah,
you run an army of the White Hand at high points, you can whip out Frida as well, can't you?
Yeah. Frida Toolspare. But anyway, back to the list. So was Luke running Celeborn as his leader as well into the
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's Celeborn. I can't remember if he took Haldir or the captain.
Yeah,
I think.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I mean, at
But
other
he really
points,
enjoyed it, didn't he?
Yeah. 34 models isn't bad considering the amount of shooting and that you're going to probably kill a fair amount. And then you've got the throwing weapons as well. Like he's going to, skirmish about a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to be
so
very annoying to play against.
Yeah. But obviously low defense, like, yeah, he needs some good rolling as well. So, does he have a banner? Oh, yeah, he has a banner. Yeah, sure.
So were Lothlorien warriors with throwing weapons any different last edition? So why have they suddenly come up?
I don't think so.
Because there's even more kiting with this list, right? So basically, this list is the same as it was, except Elven Cloak's got better, and Celeborn's got the +1 to wound, and he's a beast at casting.
Right, so it's more that the overall list is better rather than the actual components.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, they kind of, the more, if you go pajamas, the more of them you buy into, the better it gets, because if a list kites a little bit, it doesn't really work. But if it kites a lot, the overpowering nature of the shooting is so good, because when an opponent finally gets to you, you can just have a pocket. You can pull them in, sacrifice a couple of elves. You've still got one turn of throwing weapons. Put a couple of out positions just to draw them in. Sacrifice those 2 or 3 elves, and then the rest of your army is just running circles around them. It's 13 bows and 11 throwing weapons is no joke, because there's so much low defense now as well. So these guys will be aiming for your back rank, and some back ranks are defense 3. A lot of defense 4 or 5. Yeah. Very few back ranks are defense 6 now. So these guys are they're going to rip through, and also all the scenarios we have are far deployment at the moment.
Yeah, is domination the only 24-inch deployment?
Yeah, and even in that, you can deploy back if you want.
Yeah,
it's not like during the breakthrough where on a 1 to 3 you had to deploy in the top half.
Yeah,
there's none of that.
No, in capture control.
Sorry, capture and control. You're right.
Yeah, and also with the changes to priority as well, like with the throwing weapons and the bows, it's like you can just stay outside of 6. And then even if you win priority, you just go, oh, yeah, you have it. If you want to come closer to me to try charge the following turn, I can just move away or charge you and chuck throwing weapons. And if you're going to not charge, or if you're not going to move closer, then I have all of my elf bows there shooting. So it really makes them kind of force the agenda sort of thing. And then Luke can react and do what he wants to do. Sorry, Ben can react and do what he wants to do.
So Luke/Ben. Whoa. You know what it's like? It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker. It's like which one's the apprentice and which one's the master here?
Who is indeed? I mean, Luke used it first. He is also the larger elf advocate as well, for sure. Is Luke definitely?
Yeah, to be fair, Ben's a dwarf guy, isn't he?
He is.
What's going on here?
He's jumped ship, Adam.
Shit.
Really not feeling it. No.
That's what happens when you keep running Army of Thor and you just realise,
this is
something else.
This is no fun. Okay, well, we'll leave it there for Ben's pajama elf Lothlorien list. I must say,
a good list.
When I put this into the presentation, I saw Lothlorien at the top and then Celeborn and didn't even look at the list. I didn't even realise until we started this conversation that it was pajama elves. So there we go.
Mate, he was literally like one of the main components of the underrated profiles we talked about.
Yeah, no. I was saying
no, he didn't realise it was.
When I saw his list in the chat, I just saw Lothlorien.
Okay.
And I just didn't even look at the contents of the list, but sure.
It's good.
We shall move on to something a little bit more interesting for Adam, seeing as he is just advocates for the dwarves, is Erebor Reclaimed. This is what Mr. Ali King has taken to the event. He has managed to secure himself a ticket, very last moment. So he is going to the event now. This is Erebor Reclaimed, 29 models, led by Thorin with Orcrist, who also has with him Gloin and Ori, which I believe there's a nice, lovely synergy between those with some rules, which Adam can go into.
Is Ori the one that gives the you can go double-handed with no penalty buff.
No, that's Dory. Ori does something for regenerating resources, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, if you kill a monster or a hero within 6 inches or something, right?
Something
Or
like
3
that.
inches.
I can check. But yeah, so those three heroes, so they're leader. So how many? So he's got 9 crossbows, and then a load of iron heels with shield spear. No more taking them with just shield anymore. Sad noises for everyone who converted Iron Heels warriors to have no spears. And then he's got a couple with mattocks as well. Classic Ali King there. So 29 models. Shame he couldn't get up to the 30 mark there, but I guess he wanted Orcrist. And even if you drop Orcrist, I don't know how you get in another model anyway, but sure. So Adam, what do you think about this one? Erebor Reclaimed at 600.
I don't know.
Is it mid?
I just don't think it's quite there. I'm trying to rack my brains. Why is he taking Ori? Like,
I'm check. The Chronicler special rule. Whenever a friendly Erebor hero within 6 inches and line of sight of Ori slays an enemy hero or monster, then an Erebor hero may immediately regain a single point of might, will, or fate. And if they are unable to regain a point of might, will, or fate because their stores are full, then you may choose a different friendly Erebor hero within 6 inches and line of sight of Ori instead.
okay, so clearly that's decent because he's only got 8 might. I suppose 8 might's okay.
And sorry, Adam, I'm completely wrong. You were correct. I thought you were talking about Dory, who is Burly, but you meant the special rule that he has where Erebor models within 6 inches don't suffer the -1 for the dual rolls.
Right, so that's why he's taking him because what it means is Thorin and Gloin are constantly double-handing.
Yes.
They never suffer the penalty. Double-handing with Orcrist, so Thorin's essentially at strength 6. Gloin is an absolute beast. Yeah, this is good. Gloin is the new Dwalin, essentially.
Chad Gloin, he got better.
Yeah, he did.
He has to go two-handed though, so Ori's.
Ori's a must-take. Right, yeah. This immediately with that rule, that is really, really good. I do feel like it's a bit low on the models.
It is. Models, but like you look at say the 44 model Arnor list. Does this outshoot the Arnor list? How many bows did the Arnor?
9 crossbows.
13. 9.
13, yeah, this outshoots.
This does outshoot. So
this outshoots.
Yeah, it's tough.
Because remember, these guys can. I mean, crossbows because of the way movement works. You probably want crossbows front rank.
Yeah,
so 6 is to wound. Yeah, this will outshoot. Yes, it's not because of the way movement works. Is Rangers can move to just put all of their fire on like 2 or 3 dwarves. Do you know what I mean? Like they can move around. They can move off range.
Yeah.
Crossbows are. If you play against a good player, crossbows are not that great. If you know what I mean. There are ways to avoid the effectiveness of crossbows.
Maneuver.
But yeah, I think it's obviously solid. I respect the 2 mattocks just to fit 600 points. I'm surprised he has the models actually. I suppose he's just a dwarf, isn't he?
He's been playing for a long time. He is rather old.
It's decent. It's fine. This is fine. I just feel like he needs to be playing quick for this to work. He's taken the best dwarf profiles in the game. He's taken some very good heroes. He's low on models, so he needs to time the amount of shooting he does quite aptly.
Well, he needs to be quick. I mean, all the heroes can now call March at him, and they can charge when marching.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Game breaking.
No, these are by far the best dwarves at the moment.
Yeah, dwarf list.
They didn't even need that. Yeah.
No. What do you think, Vince, if you coming up against this at the tournament? Ali on the other side of the table?
Yeah, I just think the model count is a bit too low. It just I know he likes dwarves, but they do a lot better at higher points. This is just a bit too low for my liking. If you can get up to like, high 30s with dwarves, then you're going to really start grinding people out. But
yeah,
with 29 models, if you face any sort of board or you're just not going to be able to
Yeah, deal with the numbers.
Yeah,
I mean, if these guys play the elves we just saw, they're in all sorts of trouble.
Hmm.
it's just so slow as well. Like the
Yeah.
reason why dwarves are better at high points is you kind of minimize your disadvantage of being slow just by having more bodies. And now you've
The
only got
longer
29
round times.
models.
You
Yeah,
just
so
chuck
now
your models forward
Slowly get there, and then you have an actual
an
decent.
extra turn. Yeah.
now with 29 models, it's just like, well, you can't not be in many places, and by the time you need to, get somewhere else, it's over.
Yeah, he's trying to make it work at a slightly lower points level, right? And
Yeah,
yeah, Ali loves a not quite optimal list for the points level. As in,
yeah,
he's trying to make it as optimal as he can, but he likes something that's a little bit underpowered, a little bit underbaked. So I'm
yeah,
sure, but I'm sure he'll do very
Look,
well.
he's got good synergies in his list, and
Yeah.
it's a well balanced list. He just needs he needs to time everything he does really carefully.
Yeah. He's used dwarves a hell of a lot, so we'll see
Yeah.
what he pulls out the event. So we'll leave it there for Ali's Erebor Reclaimed, and we shall move on to Sam Grattan's list here. We have Radagast's Alliance. So 600 points, 5 models. So it's led by Radagast on Eagle. And he has to exchange the Staff of Power for the Eagle in order to get that. He's leading 1 Great Eagle and 1 Fledgling. And then he has Guahir as well, leading another Fledgling. So that is the 5 models. Now, it's worth noting here, there was a balance sort of like update for the event that Will has done.
Oh yeah,
He's
that's
reduced.
that thing we've got to mention.
He's reduced the range of Guahir's like Screech special rule in the Eagles list. So not in this list, but I believe Sam said that's why he's taking this list.
Absolutely.
So
Because otherwise, of course, you're going to take the Eagles, aren't you?
yeah, I guess to touch on to like, what do you guys think about sort of like a balance sort of change? Like, because we do rarely see TOs kind of saying, I think a rule should be played this way instead. So I'm going to put in like this is what I think it should be. And obviously it's quite an overpowered thing, some people might say at the moment, but kind of what would your view be on that sort of thing?
So I think he did it because he was probably concerned about too many people bringing Eagles at 600 points. So he just maybe wanted to, make a bit more variety, a bit more likely.
Yeah.
That nerf. Well, whether it's necessary or not, I'm not entirely sure. Eagles are definitely strong. I don't know what I'd do to them personally, whether they need to be nerfed or. I just find all monster lists in general just do very well at low points. So it's more points limit rather than the actual list being so strong.
Yeah.
Like low points just suits all monster lists.
I guess it's where the 600 is like as low as say like Into the West. 'Cause obviously, like Into the West, we did see like over half of the top 10 had Eagles. So like you then go, oh, okay, we've seen this happen already. We don't maybe want that to happen again. So maybe that's why you make the change. Do you maybe see if it happens again? It's at higher points. Do you maybe give it another event? Maybe that was just a anomaly. I'm not sure. What would your view be, Adam?
I think it's difficult, isn't it?
It's tough.
So the first thing I'm going to say is in a 7-game event, Will ran into this list 3 times. So we played last game, final game, game 7. I think he just looks at me at the beginning of the game and goes, this is the 3rd time playing Eagles this event. And I was like, yeah, okay, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unlucky for him, isn't it? And you can tell that clearly he thinks it's an issue. I think at 400, it was really good. I think at 600, arguably it's just as good because you can take 2 fledglings. Because the issue I had with Eagles is in 2 of my games, within a turn, like an eagle died. Right? So if you're taking 2 more fledglings, that's so good. You're going from 4 models to 6 models so you're increasing in your model count by far, like a much larger percentage than the points have increased.
Do you reckon that maybe going from 450 to 650 with the different types of armies that you now see, that maybe the increase in model counts for those armies would be even greater potentially, to a point where maybe slightly more armies maybe can deal with them maybe at 600?
Yeah, absolutely. So at 600,
I think that's the counter argument probably.
You do. So at 600, you can get armies which have a fight 6 striker quite consistently, maybe even fight 7.
model Arnor, like you're not
that.
Low points.
But even 44 model Arnor, I mean, it doesn't really have a way to deal with the
Eagles. Sure, but more.
But at least
you're right. You have more tools. Yeah. You have more tools. Yeah.
So
I think at the end of the day, he's trying to make a tournament which everyone's going to have a good time at.
Yeah.
And that's why the pod systems work. So if you're super competitive and you get to the top 2 or 3 pods, then that's what you're going for. Equally, if you just want to bring on a list for fun, then you've still got something to play for the second day. He's just trying to make a fun event. And, I respect that. But I do think he's running on really low games played, really low statistical evidence.
Yeah.
But he's not looking at it from a game balancing point of view. I think he's looking at it from a fun point of view.
Yeah. I just wonder if maybe other TOs, obviously Will's like a very experienced TO in the UK sort of scene. I wonder whether other TOs, does it maybe open the door to more sort of things like this moving forward? I'm not sure. I guess we'll see what happens. But little side topic there. But back to Sam's list here. So
I think people would prefer to play this than Pure Eagles because it's more interesting, isn't it? There's more going on.
Raddy on Eagle.
Yeah.
So I was looking at his profile. I was trying to actually figure out kind of what the changes were for the most part. I don't know all the changes for all the profiles yet. I haven't even been to a tournament yet. So the castings kind of got worse across the board, really.
Yeah.
He's got an extra attack now, which obviously when he's on Eagles, pretty relevant. Sorry,
go on.
No. I was going to say that there weren't really many other changes from what I saw, but unless I missed something.
Yeah. So the main thing is, last edition he was 205 if you wanted him on the Eagle with Sebastian.
Sebastian, yeah.
So it was basically impossible to fit him in.
Yeah. Well, now she's 200.
So now it's just a clean 200. And he's got the extra attack to win duels, which is really good. So he's 4 attacks on charge to win a duel. Obviously the magic's got worse, but that's always across the entire game, isn't it? So whether his magic is going to be that impactful, given that he loses a start of power
as well. I thought that is a pretty big
with the Eagle.
Yeah, and the casting rolls are obviously being higher. Just less likely. So you've got 6 points of will. Worse.
You might be able to get 2 or 3 spells off in the game.
So,
maybe less if you're facing a caster.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
So what's his base attacks now? You say his attacks have changed?
2 attacks now up from 1, and then he's got Sebastian, and on the charge with the Eagle, he'll get an extra attack. So it'll be 4 dice.
So that's. I mean, previously, what did he have previously? It was
he was only 1 attack in his profile previously.
But when he charged in, he's still got 3 attacks.
Yeah, so one for the charge in plus Sebastian.
So basically, because the Eagle also has 2 attacks, so you use the highest, right? Either the rider or the mount.
So using Radagast.
Previously. Oh yeah, sure. So previously he had 2 attacks from the Eagle anyway. Yeah, sure. So is it the same? It's the same amount of attacks.
Does Raddy have base 1 or 2 attacks?
He's got 2 now, but
he's got 2 now. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference because the Eagle was first 2. So I
forgot that he had 2 last edition anyway.
No, but it does make a difference because if it's Radagast plus Sebastian, that's 3. Plus 1 for charging.
Yeah, so 4, but that's what it was before anyway. Because Vince was saying that you use the 2 from the Eagle.
No, it was 3 before, wasn't it?
And you get plus 1 on the charge, right, with the Eagle. And then you also got Sebastian. So it
was 3 before, wasn't it?
No, it's 4. 2
it must have been 4
plus 1
as well.
for Sebastian, plus 1 for charging.
Yeah.
And same as last edition.
Yeah.
Right, okay, fine.
Yeah.
It's only because you barely saw it because that cost 205 points.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. You needed, the 5 points was so worth it, and you just couldn't fit it in.
Yeah. So yeah, what do we think? Sort of compared to the normal Eagles list, how do we think Sam's going to do with it? 600, 5 models.
3 more might,
It's good.
which is very good.
Might, yeah,
for
it's nice.
Eagles.
Yeah, he's
You
got.
get resistance to magic
Yeah, on all the
with
Eagles.
Raddy, which is really good.
Yeah, it's
Seems
nice.
it affects all the Eagles.
Minas Morguls. Yeah, it's nice to have.
But whether this will do better than Eagles at
Yeah,
400 points. Okay, well, it's not really fair to compare because, different points limit. But if we were comparing this to like the Eagles list,
yeah.
the Screech is probably more powerful than the extra buffs you get with this.
There's
But
more
because Will's reduced it to 3 inches,
yeah, there's more.
maybe it's a bit more even. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
But
more.
in the normal Eagles list, you get one more Eagle as well.
Oh yeah, sure. So you go up to
yeah,
6.
because Raddy's 200 points. So
Yeah, there's more tricks and things that you can pull off with Raddy, I guess. But then, yeah, the Eagles list, if it was the 6 inch, is obviously just the raw kind of
it
damage.
depends. What do you really need Raddy's magic for? Like, if you're running an entire monster list, what's the magic going to do? So he's got Panic Steed, which is not going to be super important.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
and Nature's Wrath.
Yeah, but do
No,
you
but
really need either of
Immobilize is
those?
great. Immobilize is great.
Yeah.
You talk about Screeches. If you just immobilize a hero, then it's not moving, is it?
Yeah, I guess he's just gonna like wait to transfix the scary thing,
Still good.
charge in, Yeah.
Yeah, you can still do
immobilize
barges.
Immobilize on a 4-up or 3-up room.
I think it's a 4 now,
So yeah,
which isn't great. Yeah,
not super reliable, but yeah, it's something you can throw out if you want
But
to.
one thing I will say about this list that Eagles don't have is you do have 2 models that can call correct combats, which can be big. I know most of the time you want to be just barging, but the fact you have that extra 12-inch movement, like as opposed to the barge, it means that you can threat more. That is a thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, Transfix is on a 4-up now. So
The only The only other bad thing is Raddy's a lot easier to wound. So your leader wounds,
yeah,
you're going to give up leader wounds a lot more easily.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure he's feeling confident after his previous outing with Eagles. He did very well into the West. So
Yeah.
how he gets on.
It's still a super strong list. All monsters.
Yeah, the Eagles are good now. So sure. We'll leave it there for Sam's Radagast's Alliance list. And we shall move on to Mr. Vince Wong's Army of the White Hand list. Do you want to run through it for us, Vince?
Yeah, so we've got Army of the White Hand with Saruman, 2 chieftains, and Grima, leading a bunch of Uruk scouts,
Chads
with shield, orc warriors with spear, and wildmen have done them with bow. 1 Crabane and 1 Warg Rider, for a total of 46 models.
14 bows.
Yeah, 14 bows.
Nice. Have you had a practice game with this one, Vince, or with something similar?
Yeah, so I've had a few because I was very intrigued about this list after Dave Farmer's very good performance with it at the last tournament that he won.
Yeah,
I was intrigued because I was probably one of the first people to kind of look at this list and kind of laugh at it a bit. Because on paper,
I also totally saw this list and I thought, what the fuck does this list do?
Yeah, it's very odd because you kind of look at this list and it's just got a lot of things going on and it just doesn't look very good. You look at the troops and you think, oh, they were kind of D4, D3, kind of weak, fight values okay. But then you just think that the army is quite just quite weak. Like you just don't see how it can really stand up to many lists, and Saruman's very expensive. But then when you start playing it, it's just got so many tricks. And the troops do actually do more work than you think. There's very efficient, you do get quite a few numbers.
And fight 4 strength 4 in there is not too bad. In some
Yeah,
spots. Yeah.
the fact that you can have the Urukai in this list really helps it. And then the wild men with bows, you can fit a lot of bows in there, and you do actually end up out shooting quite a lot of lists, especially with the lightning. So the lightning is such a good spell. Like you start games just removing models just for no cost, can't be resisted, just can't stop it. It's just ridiculous. You
Yeah.
roll well with that, you can almost kind of settle the game there and then. It's it's nuts. And then with Grima running around, we know how good Grima is. He's just controlling, your opponent's heroes.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just kind of have to play with or against this list to realize how powerful it is.
Understand it.
Because there's just so many of these little tricks, like with the Grebane, being able to draw line of sight from it, getting rid of Elven Cloak.
You can add
I think
the other spells that Saruman has as well. So like the half moving for a turn, and the fearful one as well.
Yeah. So those are very interesting spells that I haven't really got the most out of them yet in my practice games, but I can see how they can be used very crucial moment, like in a game winning moment. Like
if you save it for the right time. Yeah. And obviously
there are a lot.
Saruman being able to, take out a load of stuff early game, like if your opponent puts loads of models into small an area and they kind of deploy like that, you're just going to turn one, just try and take them out there and then, and like you say, sort of potentially win the game very early on. Ali and I were talking about this list earlier today when we recorded our other pod, and we spoke about Farmer's List from Hit Your Steel, and he was saying that he feels it's kind of like AOL sort of, in terms of like, because we were looking at his 54 model list and how it's just like really high numbers, the troops you might overlook because they're kind of chaff, but you've got tricks and stuff.
Exactly.
So he said it kind of plays in a similar sort of way a little bit.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one because the troops are.
You would look at them and go, "Oh, there's not really much."
Yeah, but they're very efficient. They just do their job very well. Like but Urukai, who are for their points are decent. Strength 4, fight 4. The Dunland bows, they're just the new trackers. Like they're just for 6 points, just to give you like a really good bow. For its points.
Yeah.
And you can like max them out, get 14 in this list.
Which is
really good.
Yeah. This is an example,
6 points.
This is an example of a list which I must say, with the new edition, kind of all the criticism about the lists and the restrictions and stuff, like when would you have ever seen an Isengard list previously led by Saruman with like Urukai scouts and Isengard orc warriors with spears and Dunland bows? Like they've kind of made this kind of list off of like a point in the films, and they've gone, these are the types of models that would be chucked in. You're not super limited in terms of options. Like I think it's quite cool what they've
exactly. So it's one of the few lists that have so many options. I think that's why I think it's so strong, because you get the War Riders, you get the Bane, you get all these troop types, all these hero types. You just got so many options, whereas there are lots of different lists that have very few options. And on top of that, it's got so many other bonuses. You'd expect a list with so many options
to maybe
have fewer bonuses to compensate for that, but it kind of gets both.
Saruman's got the spells, which is really unique. Like we've never really seen anything like that too much.
No, his super spells are just, they can game them.
Adam, what do you think on this one? Army of the White Hand. Thoughts?
I'm currently building Army of the White Hand.
Oh.
I think it looks really fun. I thought from the beginning it was a fun list, but now it's doing well. It's like,
sheesh.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised it's doing so well, but I'm enjoying it because I think it's a really fun list. And it's funny, we were theorizing, Vince and I, what sort of lists would turn up in the game when the edition was dropped, and the fact that everything had to come from like a movie scene. And I said, there's definitely going to be a list where like Saruman just goes, burn every village. And it's literally that list, isn't it? Yeah, it's awesome. Really good.
Is that your Christopher Lee?
Yeah, mate.
Can we get that again?
Sorry, I got a bit
It's got to be the intro clip. It's got to be the intro clip.
I'll do it again so we have a double intro clip. Burn every village. There you go, got it twice.
Oh, so good. Adam knew I was farming the intro clip.
That's it. Now you won't know which one to pick.
I know, I'll have to review and post.
You have to keep both in.
Okay, sure. Just for you, let me know that now. So you're building this at the moment, are you, Adam?
Green was just so busted. I used him for the first time yesterday at like a doubles tournament. And we played the old Clash of Champions, you know, the one where the heroes have to get the kills.
Yeah.
And with the Saruman, we took Master of Isengard, we didn't say this one, but with Saruman and one or like Uruk captain, we got more kills than Azog and Yasna combined. Just because he just kept putting himself in front of Azog. Azog eventually had to dismount. Then with Channel, you just constantly blasting Azog on he's just on the floor. Can't do anything against it because you get that natural 6. Channel is low key, really good now.
Yeah.
It's very good. So the reason why Saruman is so good in this list is because with the super spells, you've just got so many resources for the entire game. You can just make every spell count every game. You're not like kind of risking like fluffing or wasting will or might when you really need a spell off. You kind of just know exactly what you want every turn out of Saruman.
You can get it. There's maybe 3 turns now where you're still casting those spells without having to spend resources. That's gonna
exactly just automatic.
For other.
And might is expendable because you've got 7 might in the list, and they've got half of that because of Grima.
Yeah.
So definitely Channel if you really want to spell off, because you will regret not channeling. You'll spend 3 will, get a 4 high and be like, oh, well, I'll spend a point of might. It's like you might as well just channel to get the guaranteed 6 and not waste the extra will.
Yeah.
And it's just guaranteed.
Rumors the new Tom Bombadil confirmed. The new Menace on MESBG.
He's definitely good.
Yeah, but we shall leave it there for Vince's Army of the White Hand, and we shall move on to a list that I would be taking to the event if I was going. I thought we didn't have too many lists tonight, so we'll have a chat about what I would have taken. I'm currently painting all of this at the moment. As our keen followers on Instagram would have seen the poll I put up to help me decide which color I was going to paint my Warriors of Rohan. So there we go, exclusive Instagram content there, folks.
What did you decide on?
I did. So I did the vote. There was like 50 people that voted or something, and it was exactly split down the middle.
Brilliant.
Oh.
Just what you wanted.
So I was like, oh, after all these votes, it's time.
So you rolled off.
So yeah, sure.
Did you play a solo game against yourself to decide?
Yeah. No, they're still on the painted table, so I will have to break out solo ham again. But Defenders of Hornburg, if I was going, it's a 42 model list led by Hera with shield, and the other heroes are Olwyn and a Captive Rohan with no additional upgrades, and it's just a load of Rohan warriors. There's 3 riders of Rohan, and then with other bows as well, I have 9 bows and 13 throwing spears. So it's essentially going, I'm dominant 2 everywhere. In like half of the scenarios, I think dominant is relevant, like for objective markers. So in half the scenarios, you're going, I have like 84 models. Fine. Well, not 84, but you know what I mean. In terms of
also, in things like Recon, it's a bit naughty when you can just dismount a warrior, like a rider Rohan, and then just walk off the board and campus 2.
Yeah, it's nice.
Nice. That's a bit.
I mean,
almost Grima, isn't it?
The list itself is actually pretty sort of lackluster. Like it is spam fight 3. Sure, you're 42 models, that's not insanely high. Hera is obviously really good, 3s across the board. But like Olwyn's 80 points. She's 3 wounds, 3 fate. She's D5 though. She does have defense. She's fight 5. She's okay. but like you save the points and you're kind of trying to max model sort of thing. The captain's sort of a really easy target for like Fog. He's got no armor or shield, so you could drop to 40 models, maybe get some more riders and some upgrades on the captain, or potentially mount Olwyn if you wanted to. There's some different routes you could go, but it's sort of just a fight 3 spam. So, and it's
I think I'd drop a rider and put some armor and stuff on the Rohan captain.
Yeah. So I thought having 3 is nice for recon, but yeah, you could, there's a couple changes you can make here and there, but it's essentially just a fight 3 list. It's pretty low defense, so a lot of stuff in the game is probably going to kill it pretty reliably.
Yeah, but equally, these throwing spears late game are just going to cause carnage. Throwing weapons now are better than ever because of low defense.
Yeah, and not needing 6s everywhere. So so this is what I would take if I was going. Any thoughts, Vince? As an Isengard player, you must hate this naturally.
Yeah, I don't know. It does look quite easy to just
roll over,
break. Yeah, there aren't the troops are pretty weak, and you're just relying on that dominant 2, really, aren't you?
Yeah, that is what it is. And like, there's no real like threat either. Like, sure, Hera, like you can't strike against her, but like she's not gonna like one shot something.
No, it's just being a hero on foot. It's quite easy to fluff that. 130 points. It's quite a lot. I don't know really. I've seen this list a lot, so maybe it does better in in real life.
Yeah,
I don't know really.
I do want to try it out. The dominant 2. I guess maybe when we get more scenarios, like maybe there's more benefit in the dominant. We'll see, but like half of the scenarios where it's going to be a pretty big factor is obviously for your opponent. It's going to be quite tough to claim.
Yeah.
So they've just really.
But then the problem is when you play scenarios like to the death.
Yeah. If you play against shooting and like to the death, you'll just or like Fog or something. Yeah, it's looking tough.
If this plays the elves, it's just an auto loss, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
The elves will just shoot this to absolute shit.
Not very fun. I have 30 models by the time we get to combat. Yeah. So Defenders of the Hornburg. I'll try this out at some point. Maybe come to a bat rep near you at some point soon.
That's a good list, though. It's fun.
Yeah. So we shall move on to our final list that we're going to be looking at. James Goble, The Depths of Moria.
You love it.
The Balrog. Love to see it. 37 models, 600 points. It's the Balrog and 2 Moria Goblin captains leading a shit ton of goblins with shield and roughly the same amount with spears as well. So 4 might. New Balrog. What do we think? No cave.
I like the new Balrog.
Fight 10, boy. It's nice.
Just the extra 2 inches move.
Move 8,
dominant.
Huge.
Dominant
10. Nice.
So what do we think is the optimal points limit for depths and Moria?
For depths.
I think a little bit higher than this.
How does it work with the banner now? Is it just part of the list now where you get the battlefields? Is it battlefield wide banner, or am I making that up?
Yes, the whole
whole
battlefield.
I don't know if I just made that up, but yeah, sure. Yeah.
The counts are ban points.
No.
Probably not. No.
But you just get the reroll.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I guess like 30...
battlefield wide reroll is so good.
Yeah, but like 37 models, like, are you getting that much out of that? Those goblins are going to be alive for that long.
Well, no, I mean he's taken more shields, hasn't he? If you look at his composure, he's only got 2 more shields. But
yeah, sure.
The role of the shields is literally just to hold off while the Balrog is doing its thing. So you're getting 3 dice when you're shielding. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I just like you go up to 650. Like, how many more goblins do you get? I don't know.
We could fill. Well, you can't exactly fill those out, can you? You can have 8 more goblins, and then a captain. So 700 maybe is better.
Warband space is the problem, isn't it? I think 750, you get 1 full warband extra.
So you could take another 10. So if he's got 8 slots, You go up to what?
So one full warband is 100 points. And I know this because I'm going to a 300-point tournament and I'm taking 3 warbands of Moria goblins.
So if you went up to 700 points, you'd get what? 48 models? Or no, 49 models?
Yeah.
No, 50 models.
Well, no.
50 models.
Yeah, 50 models, yeah.
50 models.
Plus the captain, right? So you keep the captain plus 12.
Yeah.
So 700 to 750.
I think that feels no, it's 700. Yeah. So I think that feels a lot better. You go 700, 50 models as opposed to 37 at 600.
Although the Balrog is still super annoying at like hold ground.
Yeah.
You know, it's still an absolute beast that you
got a lot better.
You just can't deal with in combat. You kind of just have to either ignore it or have something to, magic or something to just stall it, because Balrog is very, very strong now.
Has anything else changed about the Balrog? Like,
no, just move 8 and dominant 10.
Yeah, it's a dominant 10.
Yeah.
It's the dominant 10, which...
Anything with like the throwing weapon or anything? I haven't read like the big roll. I don't know if anything else has changed.
No, it's the same.
No.
But yeah, Battlefield Wide Banner is obviously super, super good for the list. So
that doesn't affect the Balrog though, but yeah.
Yeah, sure.
No, if it did. Oof.
Why not? Come on, give it to him.
Yeah, I mean,
why would the Battlefield Wide Banner in his own list not?
Because he doesn't care about the drums. He doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, it's like it's a tiny little Moria goblin drum.
Probably doesn't have ears.
He's laughing at the drum.
He's a Balrog. Like, do they have ears? I don't know.
Would that make this list OP?
Yeah.
If he benefits it from the reroll?
Nah.
Yeah. Because he's got 5 attacks essentially to win the combat. The difference in 4 and 5 is so big.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, fine.
Because he's got no might, so that's what he's relying on, isn't it?
Be the voice of reason, then, Adam. I guess. Yeah. Anything else?
Well, it's the voice of Saruman about 15 minutes ago, so it'll be the voice of reason now.
I'm getting a lot for my money tonight. Love it. Remember to subscribe, folks. No Cave Drake, sadness. Were the Cave Drakes legacy?
Yeah,
they were. No, Adam's like the encyclopedia of that legacy article.
Well, no, I just said yes in the commanding manner like Saruman. I don't actually know.
He's on a roll, folks. Right, well, on that list, we're going to have to pipe down Adam a bit. Let's move on to have a look at the tier list. Okay, so kicking things off, it's been a while since we've done one, but we have the bottom category this week, named none other than our very own Jay Acharya. Jay was meant to join us here tonight. What's that?
Why? What happened?
He was meant to join us here tonight on the podcast. He was meant to send his list.
Hi, Jay.
Yeah, Jay will not be watching, Vince. So there's no need of offending Jay. I was meant to send his list in. Just a shambles from Jay. So I thought one easy to place, and then here he is. I can place him in his own tier as well. There we go, Jay in the Jay Acharya tier to kick us off on the GP tier list. He did come second at the GP last year.
Yeah, slightly.
Oh. Defenders of the Hornburg. Where would we put it?
Nervous.
It can't be nervous. Yeah. I think nervous.
I think it's
dead nervous, isn't it?
It's the definition of nervous.
Probably top of nervous. Probably top.
I've never seen a more nervous list.
It's so nervous.
I think if you had loads of nervous lists, it wouldn't be like there.
It would be in the middle of that.
You reckon? It would be like there. It'd be here.
It's so nervous that it would be in the middle of that nervous category.
I mean, on foot Rohan is the definition of mid.
Yeah.
I'm hoping Army of Edoras is somewhat decent because I've spent loads of time painting it recently, so I'm hoping it's kind of good. Although Men of the West has turned out to be good, so I can use
it. There's loads of this you can use your Rohan.
Elliot, which one have you been painting more? Your Defenders of Edoras or your Defenders of the Hornburg?
Well, I painted all the Royal Guard already, so I finished them. I've got 12 of those done. Based, magnetized in the box because obviously I'm moving house. I'm having to magnetize everything.
Oh yeah.
And I've just done my first lot of 10 Warriors of Rohan now. So I'm about to base those and then they're done. So I've almost got enough because I think I might take Men of the West to City of Kings. So the aim is to have enough Rohan ready to take my own Rohan to that. So that's what I'm aiming for at the moment. It was going to be Army of Edoras first of all, but it's not as good as I was maybe hoping it was going to be. So, but I've already painted the Royal Guard now, so I have them at least ready for when I want to use them. So yeah,
Nice.
Okay, Ben has them. Here's the Lothlorien pajama list. What do we think?
Silly nervous.
Silly nervous.
It's good. It's good, and he knows how to play it. But I just feel like there might be the odd occasion where it can't quite crack through what it needs to.
Yeah, I would like to put it a bit further down. Obviously, I can't because I let go and it goes there. But yeah, a little bit further down. I'd say. I think it is in silly nervous. Yeah, the Celeborn buff is nice. The shooting, the Elven cloaks. Yeah. We'll see how Ben does. So Sam's Radagast Alliance. What do you think on this one?
It's not similar to Ben, I'd say.
I'd say. Oh, it's really close. I want to say. I don't know if it's quite good enough to be lemon, but probably top of silly nervous, just because it's an all monster list.
I'm wondering how much of the Eagles being so good is the Screech just absolutely dominating everyone.
That's only one turn. It's the dominant, and
that's only part of it, really. I mean, I've played monsters a few times, and
I wasn't at
just egregious.
I haven't played it. I just wonder whether it was the experience in the West where lots of people were just getting steamrolled in that turn.
Yeah, it's not pleasant to be on the receiving end.
I just didn't know if that was quite a large chunk of it, and obviously without that, whether it's quite as good.
It's just got so many buffs, like hitting spear supports, the dominant. They're just so good at all the objectives, all the scenarios. You're not happy if you face them, basically.
Yeah. So you're saying things outside of the normal Eagles list still make it really strong?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So you both think top of silly nervous?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is the vote of the panel. Cool. Move on to Vince's Army of the White Hand.
I'll let Adam put them in the rightful place.
I'm thinking top of silly nervous considering how it's performed so far.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people haven't figured out how to play against it. I think
it's a lemon list.
Damn. You don't get a vote.
That's strong. So Vinny's played a few practice games, right? Vinny, you tell the audience how you got on those practice games.
Well, I mean, I've never used a list that I've felt was just so strong.
I've never cheated so hard in MESBG.
Yeah. Usually the games I play are usually quite close. You don't really know who's going to win until the end, but I've played a handful of games with them where I've just thought, I'm just not going to lose. Just from the beginning, they're just that strong. It's incredible.
I just don't understand because honestly, I look at the list and I think, I fucking run over that. But,
well, that's how I thought. That's how I felt as well. But
we need to do a practice game. I don't know.
It's insane. It's insane how good it is. You just get so many models. You just got the magic.
Yeah.
The super spells. I don't know.
The super beast spells.
I think a part of it is a lot of people kind of underestimate it, but then you see so many models on the board, you're like, this might be quite tricky. It's got lots of little fast models that you have to deal with, and you've got to deal with the lightning, and then when you get into a fight, you kind of
fight for.
You just get surrounded, get outshot. It just does a lot of things. Yeah, as farmers said, it's like the old AOL, really, isn't it?
So Vince would advocate for lemon, but Adam, are we saying top silly nervous is when we're going to settle it in?
I do feel like we had a little disagreement on this earlier. I do feel like things like Garrison of Athelion will cause it problems. I think.
No, the lightning just kills 10 models turn one.
People spread out.
Yeah.
If you spread out, then you're not gonna. If you spread out, it makes it worse. You're just not gonna outshoot. It makes it worse. Honestly, you just have to take the lightning.
There's no way you take the lightning. Sure,
you have to because if you spread out, right, you're just not going to get enough good firing lanes, and you're just going to get shot by the wild men, and you're kind of walking in piecemeal, and then it just doesn't work.
Surely you can't leave how many models can it kill turn one? Like how many can it actually hit if you're say stacked up in like a block formation? Like, how many can it hit in the two?
So if you're setting up in ranks of two, in two ranks, like 10 models.
10 models, yeah. So like let's say you lose 8 models turn one before you've even like moved anything.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like that's huge. Surely you can't just like hope that doesn't happen. I don't know.
But then if you spread out,
sure, like it isn't.
I think you're just going to lose anyway.
Yeah, it isn't a good option either. But like, is it?
Yeah.
I think like you'd probably take that over rolling the dice and just like
it's so powerful. Like I'd rather they did that. It's almost like just the threat of it. If the threat of it changes your game plan that much,
of course, then that's a huge.
I'll take that. I'll just be like, go ahead.
Yeah,
you can cast something else then, and then all of a sudden you just cast the half movement spell, and then you're like, it's so many options. Yeah,
so nervous. Then I'd like to see a little bit more from it before
Sure. Okay. Top of silly nervous. I'm happy with that.
No, but we may see out there moving forward. Who knows when Vince wins the GP, baby.
I think it's a really good list. The problem I have with it is once you kill the Uruks, it's just a D3. Sorry, it's D4, D3 sort of fight 3 horde with a really expensive leader. Like Saruman is really expensive. Yes, he's good, but
yeah,
don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
It just depends. Like at 600 points, 46 models is a lot.
Yeah.
And then if you consider all the damage you're taking, if you consider all the damage you take going into the list,
the lightning, the shooting, nice. It's nice. Okay, we'll leave it there for the White Hand. We'll move on to Minas Morgul 600. We've already seen it do very well this year at this points level.
Yeah.
Is it above or below Army of the White Hand? I guess is what we may be discussing.
I think
it's definitely below. But whether it's better than Raddy's Alliance,
I think it's better. I think it is. Yeah, the Witchkill and Fellbeast is so. There's just so many game winning plays you can make with it.
Yeah,
I think there's still
I'd say it's between Sam and Ben.
You think below though? So you both think below?
Yeah. I think in between.
Gwaiha's still ragdolls the Fellbeast.
Yeah, it's got more
40 models.
It's got more to it than Ben's list, I think. More tools. But Raddy's Alliance is just so powerful.
Maybe I haven't played against the Eagles yet, so maybe I'm sort of underestimating them. Obviously, they're strong. I'm not saying they're not. I just, I think maybe it's just it's got less.
Just so killy, it's just so killy.
But maybe they still do, a crap ton of work.
Also, don't underestimate an Eagles list that has 6 might.
Yeah, there's more play there as well, which I guess is kind of that's what I'm saying is good about Minas Morgul with the Fellbeast being able to make plays with that.
Yeah, no, Minas Morgul's definitely good. I just think monsters are a little bit good at the moment.
No, indeed. Okay. Ali's Erebor Reclaimed. The dwarves.
It's above yours and nervous.
I think this goes in nervous, above yours. I don't know. Is it better than the Rohan?
Mine is fucking nervous. Are you kidding me? My 42 models.
It minces the Rohan.
Fucking, dominant.
I don't know if it's better than the Rohan.
Over fucking 29 Iron Hills.
Yeah, that's solid.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Fuck you guys. I'm not going to the event anyway.
It outshoots you out of combat too. Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay.
There are conditions to get free heroic combats, so it's good.
Yeah, fine. And finally, James is the Depths of Moria.
I think this is a good list.
I think this is just because of the points limit. I'd put it at the top of nervous.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think 30. I think this has got some legs. This list
does.
Is 600 right for it? I'm not completely.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah, like Dominant 10 is super, super good. The move 8, 37 models feels low.
I just don't like lists that depend on one model. That's the problem. I think it's a good list, but it's so
spoken like a Pizza Dolgador player there, Adam. I feel you.
But the best thing about Pizza Dolgador is not Azog.
Well, it's the eggs in one basket, which is
no, but it's the buffs that he gives the army. Like, so the old Pits of Dolgor, what I loved was the auto turn, the fact that every hero has March and the Hunter Orcs are cracked. Now it's like, oh, he doesn't. Okay,
you do lose the game though if Azog does nothing though. If Azog's bad, you lose. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's the same, yeah.
But you could win the game with Azog, like only killing a couple of dudes.
Sure, sometimes. I found that if Azog has a whiffer, then it's usually pretty hard.
Whereas I think with Depths of Moria, if the Balrog is not doing work, the goblins aren't
terrible. Yeah.
They're not awful. They can hold up, but that's about it.
Yeah. So where do we think they go? List top nervous? Above
top nervous. Yeah.
Happy there? Sure. Okay. That is going to close out the tier list. So that is the very first tier list. Vince, are you screenshotting a tier list for the chat there? Come on.
Yeah.
The final rankings. Vince Wong at the top of Silly Nervous. He's loving it. The new Witch King Sully confirmed. God, Vince, take another picture. Let me put you up there in lemon, mate.
Oh yeah. just for the lads.
The guys are going to be bugging. Vince Wong, I'm in the white hand in lemon.
This is the first time.
They'll come straight through. They'll come to this point in the pod when it's released to see the discussion, and then they'll find out that they were baited weeks in advance. There we go. Love it.
This is the most biased podcast ever because what's just happened is both Vinny and I are constructing white hand as we speak. That's 2/3 of the panel. So
white hand proppy right now is hard. Sure. Okay.
Politics, folks.
No, I think we will we'll leave it there, folks. The first tier list we've done in quite a while. Love to see it. So that's going to close out for the GP preview. We'll be sure to have a look at the results in the MESBG monthly episode next month. So not the one that will be coming out after this episode, because we recorded that monthly episode before the GP happened. So we'll be looking at the results in the following month's episode. So that is going to close out. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching another episode of the Gollum's Gamers podcast.